This podcast contains strong language and discussions about relationships, sex, and love. It may not be suitable for younger listeners. This is the Sex and Singapore City podcast, and I am Nixalina. Hey, it's Nixalina. Welcome to another episode of me. And we're talking about, in this episode, ghosting. It's called Ghosted You? Then Respect the Dead. I've done one episode before, season 3, on being ghosted. If you have not listened to that, let me quickly overbrief what the word ghosting mean. It's kind of a millennial new term in today's generation for how people now deal with relationships or casually dating or seeing each other where they just ghost you, aka they disappear. 1 minute you can be seeing each other every week, planning time together. Maybe you've even dropped I love yous to each other. And then suddenly, never hear from them again. That's it. Well, I say never hear from them again. We'll come back to that later. Yeah, they just ghost. Boom, bye, disappear, poof, gone. Silence. You have no fucking clue what you've done wrong. You don't understand. And it's not just ghosting either. It's also like what I would call diminished contact. So, or like just basically losing interest, right? It's like suddenly you've gone from planning stuff with this person, texting a lot, calling each other, whatever, to suddenly they don't call anymore. But there'll be an odd text or they'll like your Instagram. Oh, he liked my Instagram. That must mean something. Don't worry, I do it as well. In fact, I did that last week, so I'm taking the piss out myself as much as everyone else. But then there won't be a date lined up, or there won't be a call. There usually calls, no, there's no call anymore, or maybe you call and he doesn't pick up anymore. But the next day he'll drop you a little WhatsApp. It's like diminished ghosting. It's a miniature version. Like Casper the Friendly Ghost. If you ever watched that, you can tell my age, because most of you are like, what? Yeah, just like it's like you're there, but you're not really there. Ghosting is when you're fucking gone, you know? Both of these scenarios, wow, they're really quite painful. Why do they happen? Okay, let's delve into ghosted you, then respect the dead. Basically, if someone has ghosted you, usually that means that they don't have enough integrity or backbone or honesty to say to you, hey, actually, this isn't for me. Or, hey, I'm kind of like in a different space now as when we met. Or I only see you as a friend, or I've met someone else, or actually I just want to be single and I feel like you want more and I can't give you that. They don't have the bollocks to say this, right? So the easiest option is to just phase you out. And the phasing out part is also in the secondary diminished ghosting aspect that I talked about, where it's like, oh, okay, I won't pick up her calls anymore. But I send a text here and there. So I don't look like the bad guy. I don't want to look like the bad guy, but I'm not interested anymore. So I'll just wind it down, fizzle it out. She'll eventually get the message. She'll stop asking, right? So when someone does this, either options, what it means is usually they're interested in someone else. That's it. 9 times out of 10. Take Nix's word for it. They're interested in someone else. They found someone new, someone shinier. They found someone who aligns with them more. They found someone that they actually feel, oh, I could have a relationship with this person, and perhaps you were just a stopgap. It hurts. But we have to face this shit head on, right? No one else is going to say this. Maybe you were just an in-between, a fun-time girl. Or maybe they were in love with you for those 3 to 6 months, but they have a personality disorder and they love someone in the next week. Or they fucked up and they cheated and they can't bring themselves to be honest, but they also know that what you both have now is damaged. So they're just going to scarper. Whatever the fucking reason is, right? They could also just ghost. I mean, ghosting happens from a negative aspect. That's what I want to get at. That's what I want to make clear. Whether they found someone else or not, whether they've just lost interest or not, whether they've fucked up or done something behind your back or not, or you were just used in the first place, or they woke up one day and just changed their mind. Whatever it is, to ghost you is a negative behavioural pattern, isn't it? It shows that there is no kind of respect for you, actually. There's no respect for you. There's no treating you like a fucking adult, and there's no behaving like an adult. No adult can do that. You know, most mature humans, and I've met a few, we are out there. Well, actually, I'm not mature. I will not put myself in that category. Most mature humans are able to say, hey, listen, like, I'm so sorry, this has kind of come to an end for me. And that's kind of what most people want and need. Okay, that hurts. That really hurts. I really liked you. I thought we were going somewhere, but thank you for being honest. And that's usually all it needs. So when someone ghosts, it's a negative behavioural pattern. Chances are they ghost often. Chances are you're not the first person they've ghosted. And to get to my second point, chances are they're ghosting you only because they want to keep the channel open to come back. We call them zombies. Those little fucking zombies crawl back out from where you buried them. Oh, hi, I've not seen you in a few months. How are you? Let's hang out this weekend. I've missed you. Oh, do you like my zombie voice? Oh, that's them in my head dragging themselves out of their graves, clinging at your ankles in the graveyard. Oh, take me back. Oh, my imagination is wonderful. So that's the other option of ghosting, is they want to keep that channel open. It's like, I'm not done with her just yet. So I know I won't close it. I just won't say anything. Oh, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So what I'll do is I'll just disappear and it'll make her want me even more. And then when I am ready or I'm bored of the new one, I can always go back. Narcissists do this a lot. They have narcissistic supply, right? They've got a harem of exes that they've kept open. And they'll, not shut it down, just disappear for a bit and then come back, hey. And the girl's like, oh my God, hi, I miss you so much. Like, it's a thing. But what I want to say to you, if someone ghosts you, then you got to respect the fucking dead. Leave them dead and buried, honey. Because it's not a positive thing for someone to do. It says a lot about them as a human, right? About their personality. It says a lot about their level of maturity. It says a lot about what they are and where they're at in their life. Hey, I've had, fuck me, hold on. I can't even count. Countless men, right? Good men, good, in quotation marks there, good, italics, bold, underlined, because I'm not even sure half of them were. I've had good men resurface, God, 6 months later, a year later, 2 years. And I used to say to my girlfriend in London, like, they all come back. I don't understand. It's like a thing. It's like as soon as I'm like, okay, I'm over you, they'll come back. I even said to my girlfriend the other day, I don't think my ex-fiance's gone. I have this feeling, and my gut feeling never really lets me down, that there'll be something, he'll resurface. He'll zombie himself out of the fucking graveyard. And it's up to you whether you kick them back in the grave or you help pull their little carcass bodies out and give them a hug. Wow, this imagination, we've really gone somewhere today. Just stay in the graveyard with me, everyone. Stay in there in the dark place. So what do you do? Like, if they come back, and I've had it for most of my 20s that they did, what do you do? Many times, because I was not well equipped or mature enough, or, I hadn't found my own healing properly at that time, at that age, I would accept them back in. And guess what? Did it turn out happy ever after? No, it didn't, did it? But also, many of the times when they try to come back, I had already moved on and I'd cut them off and I would see them and I'm like, I'm just not into you at all now. You're lost. I'm just not interested. And that was like 7 out of 10 way that went down, was they'd come back and I'm like, I just don't even fancy you. Like the thought of putting your dick in my mouth, nah, thanks. But I think whenever anyone ghosts you, moving forwards, it should be like a flat rule that you leave them dead and buried. Because to me, it shows absolutely no respect for you as a human. I don't get it. How can you, especially if that person, say, I don't know, you've been with someone 3 months or 6 months or even a year, right? I've heard of these stories, over a year. And then that's it. Then the person just disappears. The person who's left wondering what the fuck's going on is texting, is calling. Where are you? What happened? What have I done? It's all getting internalized. What did I do? Did I say anything last week? I saw him on Tuesday and I haven't heard anything. What did I say? What did I do? Is it because how I look? Is there someone else? Then they're scouring social media to try and find, is there someone else? What's going on? It's so damaging. It's just shit. I really don't vibe it. And I think, if someone can behave that way, knowing that you're at the end of the phone, WhatsApping, calling, like, oh, fuck me, she's calling me again. Yeah, she is calling you again because you just fucking disappeared. 1 minute you're in her life, the next minute you're not. 1 minute you're having sex with her, cuddling her, making these plans, and then the next you just ghosted, gone. Then what do you expect? And it's like, oh, he's calling me again. Yeah, because you're a fucking cunt, mate. Because you behave like a cunt. What was that? What are you doing to me today? Yeah, so I really need people to grasp the severity of their actions. I think that's what I'm moving with this episode. It's like, okay, fuck it. No, let's change that direction. Because the person who ghosted, that's their method of leaving. That's how they want to be. Okay, you go do you. You're a knob. See you later. I should focus really on the person who is being ghosted and potentially then having a zombie come back. That's what I really think we need to knuckle down on. If someone can do this to you, it's not a good vibe, and it doesn't really usually end up in your fairy tale if they come back and you welcome them with open arms. Because they know that they can disappear and you'll be waiting, and that's not a good look. It also means that they're like, oh, she's quite malleable, she's quite naive. I just went off and, I wanted to go and see what else was out there before I committed to you. Well, that means they don't value you then. Fuck. You don't have to go off and taste the world and sleep around before you value a woman who's by your side. You either value her or you don't. You know what I mean? Like, none of us can ever go out there and sleep around the entire globe and then go, all right, now I get to pick which one actually was the best. No, that doesn't know how it worked. There might be 1 billion men on the planet that would be better suited for you than the person you're with, and 1 billion women and vice versa. But you've chosen that person, right? And that person's in your life. So you shouldn't need some extra validation. Like, oh, okay, it's fine. Yeah, I shagged about and she was shit. She was ag. So actually, I'm coming back to you. Oh my God, I do actually love you. I took the time and I realized I love you. No. Sorry, guys, but Nick Selena says, if they've ghosted you, then respect the fucking dead. Leave them where they're at and move on. Keep your head held high. I know it hurts, but understand that it's really not nothing you did. Like if it was something you did wrong, then shouldn't they sit and say, look, do you know what? Last week you said this, you said that, and actually it scared me off, or it's freaked me out, or actually I've realised, having spent 3 to 6 months with you, a year with you, 2 years, whatever, I'm actually not in the place you're in, and I want you to go and find what you deserve, and I can't give that to you. Easy. But if you're accepting that ghosting as like a valued way for someone to out from your life, and then you accept them back, it usually showcases that you are willing to accept less than what you deserve in the behaviors with this person. And they clock it. And they will most likely take advantage. Of course, there are always exceptions to the rule. And sometimes, guys need to just go off and realize, fuck me, what have I done? I've lost her. And also women as well. I know women ghost and then they come back. I feel like every episode, I'm like, I get it. Gender, it works both ways. But Nix talks about men because she's a woman and I'm coming from my experience. Okay. But yeah, I feel like people who it does sometimes happen and they come back and then it's great. But for you personally, call it a fucking day. That's what I'd say. Respect the dead, call it a fucking day, move on. And don't let that person, should they come back, treat you in any way as devaluing as what ghosting does to you. Because it is a very devaluing concept. And I'm just not here for it. I'm here for adult fucking communication. And we're not 12-year-olds in the fucking playground anymore, are we? We are women and men who are leading the next generation. So God help us all if we can't sort ourselves out and lay the foundations on how people should behave and how we expect to be treated. I don't want our kids to suffer because we are fucking ourselves up. Okay? If you have been ghosted or are currently being ghosted and you just want to talk to me about it and you've got feelings that you need to share and you need a safe space, I'm always here. You can DM me on Instagram at Nixalina, Nixalina. Share your thoughts with me. I will always help and it will be a judgment-free zone. And hopefully by the end of conversations with me, you'll feel better. But yeah, let that fucking zombie stay buried. And that's the end of this episode. Thanks for listening to the Sex and Singapore City podcast. This episode was produced and hosted by me, Nixalina, and recorded at the Splicecast studio in Singapore. I'm available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all major podcast listening apps. Do subscribe to enjoy a new episode every Monday evening. Please do give me a 5-star review. It helps other people also find my podcast. For more awesome content and features to read, you can check out my website, sexandsingaporecity.com. That's sexandsingaporecity.com. I'm also on social media. Simply search at Nixalina, Nixalina, to find me. Don't be shy. Come say hi.